Hello and welcome back. My name is Jennifer, and if you are new here, I have just started my journey on Mounjaro. I shared my last month and I'm kind of playing some catch up because a few things happened since I started, and I want to catch up, and then I will be doing weekly videos and weigh-ins. So this video is going to be a little bit different from what it's going to be. Hello, and just a real quick before we get into the video, I needed to say thank you so much to everybody and anybody who watched the last video. Even if you didn't comment or anything like that, I really appreciate all the support, the tips, the stories, people who reached out in any kind of way. Thank you so much. I was and probably am still kind of nervous about, sharing these things, but it means a lot. So thank you so much for your comments and stories and sharing. Maybe if you're also starting on your journey as well, it means a lot. And thank you so much for everybody who's again reached out or shared any tips or stories or anything like that. So thank you so much, everybody. I couldn't go on without saying that first. So on with the video, but again, thank you. But catching up, I want to share some of my numbers from my past weigh-ins, and then I'm going to share what happened and why I'm kind of catching up. So these are my numbers so far. So I've been doing pretty well so far. Consistently losing. Weeks have been a little bit different each time, which is fine. I actually was off of Mounjaro for 2 weeks, and that's when I didn't take my injection. On Sunday I take my injections, and those 2 Sundays I did not take my injection. That was when I was on the 2.5, and I'm on 5 milligrams now as of this video. I actually really liked the 2.5, and I've read a few things where if the 2.5 is working for you, depending on, all of this is, after speaking to your doctor or anything like that. So I did message my doctor and I said, the 2.5 is working for me great, and I would really like to stay on it since it's working, and I didn't really want to titrate up to 5 milligrams if the 2.5 was still working for me, and I felt pretty good on it. So that was my reason for messaging my doctor. And here's something that I learned pretty fast now with this medicine is if you don't have good communication with your doctor's office, you may want to change doctors. And when I say you, I mean me. And this is something that I've kind of gone through. I'm not going to complain about my doctor's office or anything like that. My doctor is amazing, and I've never wanted to change doctors because they're so great. I never wanted to change, and I was going to put up with any kind of bad communication that was happening between the office and myself, whatever it was at the time. So I was always kind of willing to overlook that, but with this particular medicine, it proved just to be a hurdle that I don't want to deal with. And I think that just proves something. Communication with your doctor's office and yourself on this medication is a huge thing. Now, first of all, my doctor prescribed this medicine, and it was approved by my insurance, not for weight loss, but for diabetes. So to manage my blood sugars and things like that for my diabetes, and one of the pluses, of course, is the weight loss. So I spoke to my doctor about both of those things, and that's why we decided on Mounjaro. And I wanted to give it a shot because we had been talking about it for a while, and I was struggling losing weight and seeing results from a healthy diet and, exercise. And those were the things that I was working on, and it was so hard to see any kind of results, if any, and that was my struggle. So that's why we ultimately decided to start Mounjaro. So the problem stemmed from when I wrote that note to my doctor. I don't know how many people have the same system, probably different for everybody, but in my case, we have my chart, And when you write a message into your doctor, it says it's going to take 24 to 48 hours to hear back. And usually it would take a day in itself for the note to say, okay, we've received your note. So it was almost like 3 days sometimes. So it wasn't very fast. And that's just my experience. Yours might be different. And what's a little bit unique about my doctor's office is they don't have a direct connection. So if you ever call your doctor's office and you right away get the front desk and someone you know answers the phone, that's amazing. That's what I want. But unfortunately, it's almost like an operating system where you have to speak to a third party, and it was very hard to even speak to the doctor's office. I am changing doctors. It feels so hard to explain everything, but the problem was my insurance wasn't approving this prescription for weight loss. So although I was doing well with my blood sugar and my weight loss and things like that, the insurance said that they need me to titrate up every single 4 pens and just keep going. And that wasn't really what I wanted to do, but I accepted it. Just doing that back and forth thing and kind of trying to communicate to everybody. I'm going to stop explaining this, but it took a while. Okay, something I forgot to mention. I meant to mention that while I was off of Mounjaro for those 2 weeks, I continued losing, and my appetite was still suppressed and my food noise was still non-existent. And I was very thankful for that. I know that the medicine stays in your system for a certain amount of time. I don't want to give a number but I don't want to give any wrong information. But it apparently does stay in your system for a certain amount of time. So I was good, and I didn't have any trouble after those 2 weeks moving on to the 5 milligrams. I didn't have any horrible side effects or anything, so that I almost forgot to say that. Oh yeah, so one of the things I want to focus on for this coming week is to get my activity in. And although it's been raining, like today, I biked in the morning, and I haven't done biking in a while. That's my activity that I find fun. Walking my neighborhood is not fun for me. But if I'm biking, that is terribly fun. So I finally did that, and it started to rain. I don't know if I've ever been biking in the rain, but I think I'm definitely going to head home now. That was actually kind of fun. And now I'm going to make some tuna for the week. Along with a little bit of mayonnaise, I add these seasonings to my tuna. And if you've ever tried the pickle seasoning blend, it's really good in tuna from Trader Joe's. Monday's workout is done. That was really nice, and I pushed myself a little bit harder than what I usually do, just because I'm never sure if I'm just doing what I usually do and not moving forward or moving up to kind of challenge myself more. So I did that. It was nice. A good 35 minutes in, and I'll show the steps that I got here. But that was definitely successful, so I'm very happy with Sunday's workout and today's workout. So I'm gonna go freshen up, and I hope you're having a good day also, and I will check in later. So on Wednesday, it was a little different. I did a little workout in my room, and I also did some power washing outside, and I'm not sure my Fitbit picked up the numbers very well, but I did. I swear I did a workout. Hello, happy Sunday. Today is weigh-in day, and it's time to kind of check up on where I am for this week. Here's my numbers from last week, and this week I weighed in at 272.2. So that means I lost 7.5 pounds this week. Now, I that is definitely a big number, and I'm thankful because I was able to do my workouts, and I feel like I worked pretty hard when I could do my workouts, and I stayed in the calorie deficit. So I'm happy to see the numbers going down. And I did want to say something though. Something that I am struggling with is getting enough calories for the day. And I'm using the Lose It app, and I'm going to put I'm really bad with remembering numbers, so I'm just going to put on the screen. That's why I have to like write things down. And unless I do, I won't remember the correct numbers. But here's the calorie deficit that they suggest. And I'm really not getting to that. And I want to do this right. I want to do it in a healthy way. And let's say I was in a really good calorie deficit and hit my goals, or at least got as close to them as possible, and then did my activity and everything like that. I'm just as happy now. I just know that there's things that I can improve on, and I want this to be done in a healthy way. So that's something I'm working on for this next week. And I'm going to work on my calorie deficit to be closer to that goal. And I'm going to continue doing my workouts. Yeah, I liked that activity goal thing, so I'm going to continue doing that. It felt good to get those things done. And I already did some grocery shopping yesterday, and I have ways that I can improve. So like an example, in the morning I would have breakfast, and it's really, I don't know, eating in the morning has been so hard. Even before I was taking Mounjaro, it's hard to get things down in the morning. It's not, I don't know. I'm just not a morning eater. So instead of just a banana, which I was kind of like forcing myself to have, maybe it will be easier to drink something. So I'll get up a little bit earlier and add in some, like a protein shake. So still have my banana, but kind of mix it up into a shake that I can kind of take time and drink. So I'm going to try that. And there's other things too, but just as an example. So yeah, I'm really happy with this week. I'm going to continue on. And so that means my total, what's my total? See, I'm not good with remembering numbers. So my total loss, since I started Mounjaro to now, is 28.7. So I'm very happy with that. I also wanted to put together some pictures that I have. I'm learning that I should wear around the same outfits, but here's kind of a picture lineup of my weigh-in pictures that I'm taking. I'm kind of trying to keep track that way. I can definitely see a difference in my stomach. And I feel the difference myself. So I'm going to keep doing that, but I just wanted to share this a little bit too. I actually had a non-scale victory where I bought these really cute pajama shorts from Walmart, and I got it in the next size down. I think it was an accident, and I was like, dang it, they're really cute, and I don't know, I just never returned them. So I just figured I would save them and one day I'll fit into them. And actually I tried them on this morning just out of curiosity, and they fit fine. Like I could sit down and they're not tight like they were pretty tight. So anyways, I'm very excited for this coming week. I hope that you're doing well if you're also on this journey. I hope, whoa, holy shit. Oh my God. That was lightning. Oh my God. Anyways, I was trying to say goodbye. I wish you the best of luck for this coming week. I hope this past week was really good for you also. And thank you so much again for everybody who reached out or is just watching and kind of following along. I will catch you guys next week. I'm looking to be on a weekly schedule now. I just wanted to catch up on, since when I started the 2.5 to the 5 milligrams. Now we're all caught up. So I can do weekly weigh-ins and catching up on Sunday or Monday, depending on when I get the video finished and everything. So I'm gonna try to get this out tonight. So I will see you guys next time. Have a great day. Bye.